Hello guys, Paul, Country Strong Outdoors. Been out here shooting my bow a little bit, getting ready for season. Bow season will be here before you know it. Today is the 7th of August, so if you're hunting in game zones 3 or 4, August 15th is your opener. Game zones 3 opens for rifle on the 15th. Game zone 4 opens for archery on the 15th. So today I've got a few little tips for you about bow hunting, things that I do that have worked for me throughout the years, and I'm going to share them with you. So y'all stick around. We'll be right back. Okay guys, first thing I want to talk to you about is your stand. You know, we practice with our bows, and we shoot our rifle, shoot our shotgun. We'll check our different gear and that sort of thing. But sometimes we're bad about forgetting that we need to check our stand, and we need to kind of practice with our stand and get reacquainted with our stand, because it's been a several months since, you know, we've been up in that stand. And you know, whether you hunt with a portable climber, or you have lock-ons, or if you hunt ladder stands or box stands, especially, you know, if you're on private land and you have box stands, you need to at least go to each one of those stands before season opens and climb up in them and check them for wasps and wasp nests, and make sure they're stable, make sure everything's good about them. And I think most people do that. In ladder stands, same thing. The thing you sure don't want is to wait till opening morning, go in there, get about halfway up, and that thing came loose and crack or pop or carry on, make a racket. And then with your portable stand, you know, you want to put that thing on your back. You want to tote it a little bit. You want to hook it to a stand, climb up in it, get yourself totally situated, just like you're going to hunt. Put your bow holder up, pull your bow up, put it on your holder. Get totally situated like you were setting up for a hunt. Two things it'll do: it'll get you reaccustomed to that stand, make you more comfortable come up in the morning, especially if you have an opportunity to get out there and practice with that stand before daylight, putting everything together and getting everything set up with just your headlamp. And then also it'll help you to, if there's issue, or if you forgot something that's not in your bow bag or in your hunting bag, then you'll have time to locate it and get it put in there. So it pays to go through all that stuff before that first hunt. And no matter what kind of stand you hunt out of, check it out before you know, make sure it's good to go. You know that the saddle hunting is getting real popular, and you know, if you're a saddle hunter, same thing. You know, get in the, hook that saddle up, climb up the tree, reacquaint yourself with the ropes and the knots and the different things that you're going to do, and get set up and take advantage of that while you're up in that stand if you can, and set your targets out and shoot and practice shooting from out that elevated stand, and make sure you climb to the height that you normally hunt if you're in a portable stand. You know, I like to hunt between 16 and 20. Some people like to hunt 30, 35. But whatever height you're comfortable with and that you like to hunt, you know, go ahead and climb that high, set your targets out, take a few shots. You'll be glad you did come that opening morning when that buck walks out. Next thing I want to talk to you about is still have to do with the stand, but it's stand, how you set your stand up. I'm not talking about the wind, and I'm talking about once you found a spot, you know what tree you want to be in. You've got your distance right. You know you're about 25, 30, 35, whatever you normally set up off of the food source or trail or whatever it is. But you know, early season, normally that's what you're hunting is in the evenings. Most people like to hunt a food source on the edge of that food source, or trail coming into that food source. And then, you know, in the mornings, I like to hunt the edge of the bed and catch those deer slipping from the food source back into the bed. And you know, whatever you're hunting that in that particular spot, what I wanted to talk to you about is never set your stand where your potential shot that the area you think you'll get the shot in is to your 12 o'clock, because it's hard sometimes. You have to make a twist and turn to set down and pull your bow back. A lot of times if you're in a portable stand, you might have that rail that comes out a little further on the front, you know, a little harder to get your bow out there and across. And if you're standing up, a lot of times your elbow can hit that tree if it's right behind you. So always, if you're right-handed, what I like to do is set up my potential shot area to my left side, from my 9 o'clock to my 11 o'clock. Anywhere in that range, and I'm good. I can cover that range with very little, very minimal movement, sitting or standing. And if I have time to stand up, I like to stand up to shoot. And but all I gotta do is stand straight up, and I can draw my bow. I'm already turned the way that I want to shoot. If it's to my right or in front of me, I've got a lot more movement to do to get that shot. Now we all know that deer have a tendency to not always come. They don't read the script, so they could come on your off side. But always set up where you feel that you'll get the shot, where you think you're going to get the shot. Put it, if you're, like I say, if you're right-handed, set up where it's to your 9 to 11. If you're left-handed, from your 3 to your 1. And then you'll have a whole lot better opportunity to get that shot off and without being detected by that deer. Next thing I want to talk to you about is this right here. Yep, simple little thermal cell. Tell you what, guys, early bow season, if you hadn't got that little dude right there with you, and you could be in for a miserable hunt. There's no question about it. These things have saved a many a hunt for me, and I'm sure a many a hunt for you. But any of you guys out there that don't want to take a Thermacell because you think maybe the odor is a little bit too strong from that coming off of that pad, it's never affected my hunts at all myself. Of course, you know, I'm always try to be real careful and hunt the wind, keep the wind in my face from the area that I think the deer are going to be at. And it'll take this scent right away too. This is a new one. I just bought it the other day. Every year it seems like I can't find my Thermacell, and I go ahead and buy another one, and then I'll find the box of Thermacells that I've got. So I've got several of them, and I'm sure I'll find them now. But I tell you what, I'd rather buy one of these every year. They're not that expensive. I'd rather buy one every year than to have to hunt without one, especially in the early season. Thermacell. Don't go in the woods without it. You'll regret it if you do, I promise. Especially this year, they're bad. Next thing is a rangefinder. Now, you know, most people use rangefinders, and I'm glad you do. You know, in some of these shoots, I don't know about now, I used to, they wouldn't let you use a rangefinder. You had to judge your yardage, at least on like a 3D shoot. And judging yardage is tough, and that's fine on a 3D shoot. You know, that's just part of the competition. But if you're hunting and it's you and that animal, then you need to have a rangefinder. Now, rangefinders come in all different sizes and variations, and do so many different things now than they ever used to. And you know, you can spend $100 or you can spend $1,000. I don't know what the low end or top end is, but I know there's a big range in prices. But I want you to look at this old relic. This is a Bushnell Yardage Pro 500. The good thing about this one is I could also use it for a self-defense weapon if I needed to finish off a deer, or if I got circled up by a bunch of coyotes, I could beat my way out with it. It's a big old heavy bulky thing. But I've had this thing, I don't know, probably since the 80s. but it still works, and it works great. And I hadn't seen the need to buy a new one. So, of course, you know, how big it is one reason I probably could use a new one, but it does work good. The first thing I want to talk to you, two things about rangefinders. The first one is, how much does it matter whether it's accurate or not? Well, it matters a lot in some ways, but if you set your bow up by using this rangefinder, if I take this rangefinder right here, now I want it to be consistent. If I range that tree over there and it tells me it's 25 yards, every time I range it, it better tell me it's 25 yards. And that, because I want it to be consistent. But if I range it and it tells me it's 25 yards and it's really only 23, it don't matter to me at all, because I'm gonna set my bow up to hit at the yardage this thing's telling me that it is. And then when I'm in the woods hunting, if I range that deer and it tells me it's 25 yards, I don't care if it's 23 yards, really. It doesn't matter to me, because I know where to aim, because I've set up to hunt with this rangefinder, and I'm hunting with this rangefinder, so it could be off 5 yards. It doesn't really matter to me. As long as I hunt, and as long as I set up the target and hunt with this rangefinder, then I'm still going to be able to hit right where I want to hit, no matter what the actual distance is. That's tip number one. Tip number two is, when you get up that tree, as soon as in the morning, as soon as it gets daylight enough, or in the afternoons, you know, it's already daylight. So, but the first thing I like to do is go ahead and start ranging things. And I like to pick out like a tree that's got moss on it, or a white spot, or got a knot on it, or a funky looking limb, a log, a rock, a stump, anything that I can remember, and remember what that yardage is, especially to my shooting side. And because a lot of times if that deer comes out, you may hear him coming, you may have plenty of time to, once he steps in there, to get your rangefinder up, range him, put your rangefinder down, and make the shot. But a lot of times you don't have that. A lot of times he's there, and then all you've got time to do is get your bow, and you need to be making that shot. Well, if you already know that tree's, 30 yards, if that tree right there is 30 yards and he's just inside that tree, you know he's just a little less than 30 yards. You can make that shot. If he's on the other side of that tree, he's a little over 30. You can make that shot. If you have three things, if you have a 20, a 25, and a 30, or a 20, 30, and 35, or even a 40, if you've got something ranged out there and that deer comes within those items, then you can really closely determine, what range that deer's in, and be able to make the shot without having to use the extra movement of picking up that rangefinder. Now, if you got time and he's feeding and you've got plenty of opportunity to do it, yeah, it's great to range that deer before you make the shot. But a lot of times you don't have that opportunity, and you can't do that, and you just have to go ahead and make the shot. So range anything and everything out there that you can that's got a irregularity, something in the landscape that you can remember. Range it, remember that yardage. Sometimes as the morning wears on, sometimes I go back and rearrange everything just to make sure I'm keeping, and I keep that working in my mind all the time. So I'll have my ranges picked out. And if you're really good at judging yardage, that's great. But I'm not. In the woods especially, I think yardage can be deceiving, and it's the deception. It'll throw you off a little bit. So I love to take the rangefinder and range those items, have it in my mind. And I use this range. I set up my bow with this rangefinder, and I hunt with this rangefinder, and I've never had a problem, because like I say, it doesn't matter. As long as I'm doing it with the same rangefinder, then I'm good to go. Last but not least, once you get up your tree, it don't matter what you're hunting in. If you're in a portable stand, if you're in a lock-on, or if you're in a ladder stand, and even if you're in a saddle, you've got to have a way to get your bow from the ground up to the stand after you get up there and get everything set. And people use all different kind of things, and as long as you're happy with what you're using, that's great. But I wanted to show you what I use because it served me so well and worked so good for me that I just wanted to share it with you. It's kind of probably an unusual thing, but it's a retractable dog leash. This is a 20-foot retractable, I can't say it, retractable dog leash, and it works great. When I get ready to climb, I got a piece of paracord with a little small carabiner on it, and I clip it to my stand. Hook this clip to the cam on my bow. When I'm climbing, it's just expanding out as I go. When I get up there, I pull it up, and as I'm pulling it up, it just retracts right back in and makes a neat little package. I unhook this from my bow, and I usually just go right ahead and take this thing and put it right into my pack, take it off the stand, because I don't want to take a chance on that silver clip right there. Two things: I don't want the sun to hit it and it glare, and I don't want it to swing around or something and hit the side of my stand and make that clicking noise. So I just go ahead and put it in my bag, and when I get ready to go, I take it back out, hook it up, let my bow down, and as I'm climbing down, of course, it's just retracting right back in. Retractable dog. This is a 20-footer, so it works great for me. 16 to 20 foot is what I normally climb anyway. I know Home Depot's got them. I mean, not Home Depot, but Harbor Freight. I've seen them in there, 24-footers. And you may be able to order, I don't even know, you may be able to get a 30-footer. I don't know what the longest ones of these that you can get, but this one works great for me. And if you give it a shot, I think you'll like it. It really makes a great, this one's rated for 50 pounds. That's way beyond the capacity I need, because if my bow weighed 50 pounds, I'd never pick my bow up again, I can promise you. But this is it works great. Retractable dog leash for a bow pull. Like it. Alright guys, well, that's the things I wanted to talk to you about for bow hunting, and hope that helps. Hope somebody out there gets something out of it. It's probably stuff you already know, probably stuff you already do, but I just felt like I would make this video and share those things with you. But it's still getting close. It's time to get ready, time to get all your stuff ready to go, and get your practicing in, have your gear ready, because it'll be here before you know it. It's almost here. I hope you guys have great luck this year. Get that big one. And hey, if you hadn't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. Leave me some comments. Hit that bell. That way when I upload a video, you'll get a notification. And I enjoy doing them, and I hope you get something out of them. Alright guys, stay away from that cone. Be safe. See you on the next one.